As we were planning this season for the Arizona Music Festival Orchestra, we happened upon, almost accidentally, upon a nice theme that in an interesting way connects the three concerts. As the programming began to evolve, and it really is an organic experience when you're putting a program together, as the program began to evolve, we started seeing that we had a bit of a nationalistic pattern. So the first concert is entirely of music by composers from the British Isles. The next concert will be all by Russian composers, and then finally a great Germanic work. So we began to enjoy this thinking about moving from one land to another as we explore some of the greatest repertory in the orchestral world. So the opening concert on Tuesday night, February the 18th, is a great exploration of the British Isles, if you will, and really all of the British Isles, from the very tip of Scotland down to the capital of that world, London. We're opening with a work called An Orkney Wedding with Sunrise. This is by the composer Peter Maxwell Davies. This work is about 25 years old, and he wrote this to depict a wedding on the Orkney Islands. And the Orkney Islands are at the very tip, northernmost point of Scotland. And this music is to depict a wonderful rustic wedding, the gathering of the parties, the families, and then finally, as the procession happens and the celebration goes into the night until the next morning sunrise, a Scottish bagpiper processes in to announce the rising of the sun. Lets us know that the festivities have gone incredibly well all the way through the night. It's a great piece, and yes, it involves Scottish bagpiper. So you will see the orchestra on stage performing, but as we get to the end of the piece, a bagpiper will begin to process down the center aisle and join the rest of the musicians. That's how we open the concert. We move then to work by one of my most favorite composers of all time, Ralph Vaughan Williams. Ralph is Ralph Vaughan Williams, more often pronounced here in the United States, but Ralph Vaughan Williams, a tremendous British composer, the true successor to Edward Elgar, I would say, a master of choral and orchestral music, and we are so happy to perform for you on this concert his work for violin and orchestra entitled The Lark Ascending. If you imagine that gorgeous ascension of that beautiful bird, I think there's no better instrument to depict that than the violin. The ending of this opening concert is nothing short of spectacular as we play one of the most well-known works in all of the repertory, also by a British composer, Gustav Holst's The Planets. Gustav Holst, British composer of Germanic descent, wrote this work between 1914 and 1916. I think that's interesting to note, that the opening planet, Mars, is incredibly warlike, and you can imagine with what was going on between 1914 and 1916, from where that inspiration came from. One should point out that the planets consist of 7 movements representing 7 different planets. Why 7? Well, he did not write a movement for Earth, so Earth is not one of the 7, and in 1914 the planet Pluto had not yet been discovered. That was still about 15 years away. As it turns out, Holst must have been somewhat prescient because Pluto has been downgraded, as we know. So we have 7 of the current 8 planets, all majestic, mysterious, and fully beautiful. The final movement, Neptune, also includes a wordless women's chorus. So we're very happy to have the women of the Arizona Music Festival Chorus who join us at the very end of that piece. Orkney Wedding with Sunrise, The Lark Ascending, Gustav Holst, The Planets. What a journey through the British Isles, and what an incredible way to open our orchestra week with this phenomenal Arizona Music Festival Orchestra. I hope to see you there.